Hello YouTubers, Red Elric here. I've got my gold Vulcan pipe, limited edition, with a white mouthpiece and a nice little meerschaum bowl in there to go with the white mouthpiece. Inside I've got some Squadron Leader, Samuel Garwith, a nice English blend, and I wanted to just make a quick video inspired from watching a video by Pip's Pipery Practices. Pip brings up a subject close to my own experiences, and that's about using a vape. The vape I'm using at the moment is one that my nephew Brandon lent me. It's by Vapor Clouds, and it's what they call a drip feeder. So you have to actually drip juice directly onto the cotton. And I think he kind of lent it to me because I've stopped using vapes. I made a video about how the vape I usually use leaks a lot, and not just that, but the wooden mod that it comes with has got a fault. It keeps showing that there's more there's more voltage going through, I think it is, than is actually going through. And I'm a little bit concerned because you hear horror stories about these things exploding in your hands if there's an electric problem. Sorry about the background noise, the kids are being a bit noisy. Yeah, and what Pip was talking about was how vapes have suddenly exploded onto the market, new shops opening up, they're selling vapes on market stalls, and even in some supermarkets I've seen them having cabinets with vapes in. Even at a newsagent I saw a cabinet with all vapes and different juices in. But there are specialist vaping shops which always seem to have lots of people in there buying lots of things, and the stuff isn't cheap as well. And just some of the comments I'd like to make. I don't think that any of it is, and it didn't suggest this, but I don't think any of it's in direct competition with pipe smoking. I don't know why I held the pipe up then as if you didn't know what pipe smoking was. Sorry, it is late. Yeah, now I think that what's happened is that it's in direct competition with cigarettes, that people have just come off cigarettes onto vaping, and it's took off, and people saw the opportunity in the marketplace to make money off the back of these people wanting to stop smoking. And the experience, I only smoked cigarettes briefly many years ago, and the experience of using vapes is far more similar to that experience of smoking cigarettes than it is in any way similar to that of smoking cigars or pipes. And I think people sort of, they know this because every time somebody saw me vaping, who got into a conversation about me vaping, they'd normally ask me a question along the lines of, so have you completely given up cigarettes now? And I had to explain, no, I didn't smoke cigarettes anyway. When I took up vaping, I smoked pipes, and I still do. I just vape for pleasure. Or if you're talking about, I might be talking about, oh, what juice are you vaping? This juice, and say, oh, this one's Clockwork Orange by Acer Vapes. Another one that they do is Yoda Babies. And they'd say, how much is that? Oh, £10 for a 30ml bottle, £10. And then they'd say something like, oh yeah, but how much was you spending on cigarettes? I wasn't on cigarettes. That's the sort of mindset, that's what people think when they start vaping. Everybody that's vaping is vaping instead of smoking. And people are getting really excited about this, and people are saying, you know, isn't it great now we've got something we can do. The other big thing as well was obviously with the smoking bans in pubs and shops and workplaces, that when vaping first came out they said there's no ban, and there was no legislation on where you could or couldn't vape. So people were going into pubs and puffing away on these things and in shops and places like that, until of course they brought out a whole sort of new thing at the discretion of the shops and places like that. You'll go somewhere and they'll say, you know, you can't use electronic cigarettes in this building. So that's kind of put a downer on that. I don't know if that'll have any effect on people buying vapes, but it was certainly a kick backwards for the vaping community, I think. But yeah, I think that's why they've grown. Most of the people that I know vape, and they've either done it to get off cigarettes or to drastically reduce the amount of cigarettes that they use. Like my brother-in-law Simon, who got me onto vaping, he still has maybe 2 or 3 cigarettes a day, but compared to the 20 cigarettes he used to be on, you know, he's cut back a lot, thanks to vaping. But I think one of the things that people don't see with vaping is the expense. I think it's going to be that they're going to save money straight off. They're just going to buy a device, and it's normally the small thing with a little tank on. They think they buy that and buy the odd bottle of juice, and they're going to save themselves enough to be able to go have a holiday or something once a year that they wouldn't have been able to afford before. But as I discovered as well, there's a lot of hidden expense behind vaping. The juice, as I said, £10 a bottle. This is the stuff that my nephew who lent me that uses premium juices like this that come with droppers. They're probably more in the region of probably £15 to £20 a bottle. Okay, compare that to cigarettes, as people say, but there's also, with tanks, you often have to change the things inside the tanks. I forget the name for them now. With like drippers, you have to buy new wire, canthol or whatever you're using to make the coils. You have to buy organic cotton to keep putting that, because these don't last very long. You have to buy batteries. I mean, the batteries are rechargeable batteries. I've got a couple here. You have to constantly be charging them all the time, because especially a big one like this uses batteries pretty quick. I don't know whether that would have any effect on your electricity bill, but obviously it's doing something. So you're constantly charging batteries. You have to buy chargers. The batteries, I suspect, will probably, you'll have to replace eventually when they become less efficient. And then there's always the thing of when they break, like my wooden one is playing up. I decided that I didn't vape that much and I enjoyed it but didn't get that much out of it. So I sort of stopped vaping. That's why my brother-in-law lent me this. But these ones are the ones you have to press the button on the bottom. This is a bit hit and miss. End up. And the thing with these as well, with a pipe, I know where I am. With this, every now and again, I'll get a dry, what they call a dry burn, when all the oil runs out and you actually get a taste of burning cotton, and that can be a bit nasty. I don't want to digress too much. So yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say about vapes. Maybe they'll start to slow down as people find that they don't crave cigarettes anymore, and they're fed up of paying £15 or £20 for a bottle of juice, because that was the other thing. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. The bottles of juice, why are they so expensive? Why are they anything from £10 at the cheap range to like £20 for the premium juices. Why? Well, it's simply because vaping manufacturers and juice manufacturers know that they're filling a void, that they're replacing something, and they know that the thing that they're replacing, the cigarettes, were something like £10 for a packet of 20. I don't know. It's a long time since I bought cigarettes, but I know they're not cheap. So they know that if people compare what they were using with cigarettes to what they're using now with juice, they'll say, oh well, I'm saving money, I'm saving, not spending half as much as I used to spend. Whereas somebody that didn't smoke cigarettes, that just vapes for the pleasure of vaping, is probably going to think £10 for that, and that's only going to last me, what, 5 days a week. It's an extra expense that you don't need. Whereas I can buy a packet of pipe tobacco, will last me easily longer than a week, probably a fortnight, something like that. I don't smoke that often. And the pipe as well. I mean, this pipe, I say, it's my gold plated, so it's pretty top end, and a meerschaum bowl is about £30. But this, I believe, cost my nephew, I think it was £100 for this. So that's like less than half the price of that. And this will last me probably, hopefully, a lifetime. Depends how long I live, I suppose, but hopefully it'll last me a lifetime. Whereas that, I'm pretty sure if he gets 10 years use out of that before it breaks, that'll be as much. Don't get dry burns with this. I don't. They're so straightforward, simple to use, the simplicity of them. If I go out hiking or something, take my pipe and decide I want to use it, I'm not suddenly going to find that my batteries run out. That's the point. When you vape, you inhale straight into the lungs. When you smoke a pipe, you don't. If you go straight from smoking a vape to smoking a pipe, you probably make the mistake, as I've just done, of inhaling this pipe smoke straight into your lungs. I don't recommend that. Have I said enough? I think that's about everything I was going to cover, so yeah, I'm going to have to tamp this down properly and light it properly. Thanks for watching anyway. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.